Marion Platz you see there in the background. Very cool combination of old architecture and retail and restaurants. Tony and I are just waiting to grab some wetsuits ourselves, jump out there, Riverwalk.
Yes, if we can brave the locals. Yeah, it's a bit of a vibe out there.
It's a locals only river, as they say.
Yeah.
So there you see Luan Oliveira, who is a part of heat number 2, along with Peter Ramondetta, Mikey Taylor, Street League Select Series winner Youness Amrani out of Belgium, and Shane Oneill. So Tony, there's a couple stars in this heat, but still wide open.
Yeah, I think it might be Shane's time though. You know, with the absence of Nyjah and Ryan, he's had a couple of close calls in the last few events where he almost got way up there, and I feel like he knows that the door's open, and if he can stay consistent, it's on.
Again, Nyjah Huston not here due to a rib injury. As is Ryan Sheckler, who's out, Austin Gillette, Chaz Ortiz. A lot of injuries, but here's Peter Ramondetta beginning his first run in the flow section.
That hurricane there.
Peter averages a 4.9 in the flow section, so you want to keep your eyes out on the score here.
So far, so good. That frontside flip.
Each skater again getting 2 45-second attempts. We count the best score.
Nice. And there's his second hurricane.
Got it timed up pretty well. Room for one more.
Nice backside Smith on the hub up. Solid run. That's probably going to be the best scoring flow run we've seen.
Impressive skating out of Peter as we take another look. Yeah, a 7.6. Just missing out on the 7.8 that Tom asked to put down in heat number 1. Up next, though, Mikey Taylor. Oh, so consistent, seems to be improving every single event. He's made it to 3 consecutive finals here in the 2013 season, including both Brazil and Spain.
Whoa, almost dropping that nose grind there.
That's par for the course with Mikey.
Switch blunt slide. Watching
Heat 2 here in the flow section. Heat 1 skating previously, and Heat 3 following it. The top 8 skaters from today's prelim will move on to Sunday's final. So Mikey Taylor's run officially in the books. Score coming in at a 4.5, well below his average here of a 6.3. But up next, Luan Oliveira, and many people are circling as a guy who could contend for this whole thing, Tony.
We saw that in Brazil. We saw the potential that he has. Nice. He's already got a bunch of tricks right in the beginning here. Nice switch, frontside 360. Frontside board slide. He's already got an entire run plus a couple tricks. And just doing stuff like that, like a backside tail slide on the quarter pipe, gives you that little extra something in between the difficult tricks.
We take another look. A 7.1 for Luan Oliveira. One of the most creative skaters here in the league. And he can even improve upon that. Up next, Youness Amrani, who is our X Games Munich SLS Select Series qualifier winner. As we take a look at some highlights from yesterday, Tony, Youness Amrani, who had not qualified for a Select Series final in both Brazil and Spain, came out swinging
Well, if you look right there, that trick right there is the one that got Nyjah the win. Yeah, arms above the hubba. I mean, he's doing that just to qualify for this event.
The score that he put down yesterday, which was almost a 50, would lead you to believe that he can absolutely contend here and be a guy that could make this final.
There, Nolly 180 switch crooks. Whoa. Got tail into the bank. Wow, looking good so far.
No hangover from a successful yesterday in the qualifier at all. Very on point right now. He's got room for one more if he can speed it up. So that's going to do it for Youness Amrani as we await his score of 5.7. Let's go down to Jordan Whitley on the course. Jordan?
Well, guys, you mentioned how Shane Oneill is, he has the stuff. He just hasn't been able to live up to his potential here. And he told me it's just a mind game. He can do it in practice, but when he gets out here, he can't get the focus. He said, this time, I'm just going to go a little bit easier on myself and not go for broke.
Thanks, Jordan. Yeah, I don't think Tony anyone would argue that Shane's got as good a bag of tricks as anybody here in the entire league.
He does look relaxed. No, see, that would be the trick that I would assume he's not going to miss at all. Would be the nose manual nollie flip out.
Doing it at practice. Here's Shane Oneill, final 10 seconds.
Big spin. Front board to fakie.
We'll get one last in. Awesome.
Double flip, 360 flip for the last trick.
That's an ender. Shane Oneill. As we take another look, a 7.6 for Shane Oneill.
There, that makes me, look at that. 360 flip, double flip there.
So that jumps up Shane and attempts number 2 for the flow section here in heat number 2. Peter Ramondetta, who skated very well to a 7.6. See if he can improve upon that.
He's got even more speed this time. Probably going to throw this one away for the most part.
Yeah, that 7.6 to have in your back pocket's pretty nice. As he closes in on the final 10 seconds. Looks like he's going to attack this hubba here. Backside hurricane. And that's going to do it for Peter. A 6.1, so he'll hold on to that 7.6. And a reminder, tonight, X Games Munich continues at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. You can also watch live on the Watch ESPN app. So here's Mikey Taylor. After an uncharacteristic 4.5, try and jump that score up here on attempt number 2.
Same start run that we saw last time. Just that smooth one slide.
Mikey has yet to miss a final this year. And he will let the buzzer go. And a 3.0 coming in for Mikey. He'll look to make some ground up in the impact section. But well below his average here in the flow. Here's Luan Oliveira coming in hot.
Big spin heel flip. It's a lip slide. That was a shocking trick. That would be one you'd think of as more of an impact section one-off trick. But he's gunning to get the top score here.
He has his run timed perfectly for one more big trick.
Nice little heel flip.
He'll hit the mani pad.
Oh wow, right at time there. I would think they would take that big flip, lip slide right here. Wow.
A 7.9 for Luan Oliveira as we have a new section high so far today. That's 7.9. So here's Youness Amrani at a 5.7 in his first attempt.
Whoa! Slowing out there.
And Tony, it's got to be tough for a guy like Youness, who had to put together a flow section in the qualifying of the Select Series, and then a flow section in the final of the Select Series, and now another line for the prelims today.
Well, he might have just considered those practice runs.
Closing in on the final 10 seconds here for Youness.
That's going to do it.
Got his board there as time expires. As we await his score from the judges at 2.2, he'll hold on to that 5.7 from his previous attempt. And now rounding out the flow section for heat number 2, Shane Oneill.
Shane's got a good first round under his belt, 7.6. I thought he scored a bit low. We'll see what happens here.
Just to give you an idea, the average for getting into the final is a 5.7 in the flow section so far this year. So Shane Oneill skating well above that. There he sticks it.
Oh, wow. Big spin to front side blunt slide Faggy. That's stepping up his difficulty factor. Switch, double 360 flip.
That's got to be the run of a day. A 9.1, Tony. Shane Oneill in the 9 club. Take another look.
All of these tricks are so difficult and so technical. Right here, surprised everyone going into blunt slide where he did that to board slide last time. And then this switch, double 360 flip. Caught it. With shoelaces untied.
With the untied kick. So a 9.1 for Shane Oneill as he jumps up. Very impressive flow section for heat number 2. Look at that. Even in Munich, they've got street graffiti. When we come back, impact section. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Munich. See fans trying to stay out of the rain as they head into the venue here for Street League Skateboarding Prelims at X Games Munich 2013. Taking a look at the standings thus far. There's P-Rod getting ready for heat number 3, but it's Tom Asta still leading the way. Tommy Sandoval, Matt Miller right behind him. But as you can see, 5 through 10, that's heat number 2. They're about ready to take on the impact section, so you'll start to see some movers and shakers. But Tony, I think the arena is still feeling the electricity of Shane O'Neill's previous run in the flow section.
Yeah, I mean, even at 9 is surprising. What more can he do?
Peter Ramondetta putting it down in the impact section. Again, each skater getting 5 attempts. We count the 3 best scores. Take another look.
Inside flip over the hubba. Good landing.
So a 7.4 for Peter jumps him up into 4th place. Here's Mikey Taylor.
Nice. Nollie nose grind.
A 5.5. Miki's a veteran of this format. He knows exactly what he needs to do in this section. Get those points on the board early. Here's Luan Oliveira.
Wow. Clean nose one slide. The only thing making him wobble there was the cameraman.
So 5.6 for Luan, jumping him up into 6th. That's what we call board control. Here's Youness Amrani, our Select Series winner.
That hard flip over the hubba.
Just kicking it away. It was a trick he had yesterday during the Select Series final. Here's Shane Oneill. What's he got for a follow-up to that 9.1 in the flow?
On a crooked grind, he's definitely playing the strategy.
Smart play for Shane there. A 5.0, jumping him up into the top 5. Again, the top 8 from today's prelim move on to Sunday's Street League final. So here's Peter Ramondetta with the 2nd attempt in the impact.
Nice. Hits that hurricane.
So Ramondetta skating very well, looking to make his first final of 2013.
Hits that hurricane.
A 6.9 for Peter. Up next, Miki Taylor. He sits in 8th place.
Side. Killing cameraman in the process.
I was going to say, was that a shinner? And then I realized he was sitting down. Might have been a nose job there. So he kicks that one away.
Occupational hazard there. You're going to sit right. He says you're going to sit at the end of the hubba.
He says, hit my face, not the lens. Here's the angle. What really went down?
Oh, right in the shin.
Yeah, it was a shinner. So no score for Miki there. Here's Luan Oliveira.
Nice. Seems either surprised that he made it or unhappy that it was not as clean as he wanted.
Probably a combo of the both. A 4.4 for Luan Oliveira as he sits in 5th place. Here's Youness Amrani looking for his first make.
It's a hard flip.
Yeah.
Now he has 3 more attempts and they all have to be makes if he wants a decent score here.
You think he goes back to that one more time?
Yeah, I think he seems that, well, he seemed like he was confident with it before, but I would think that he's not going to change up his plan.
So Shane Oneill is up next. Shane trying to get back into the final. That'll do it.
Nollie, backside heel flip. Super clean. It doesn't seem like an easy trick to go to, but I did see him make that in practice a couple times, so I guess for him, he had the confidence. Look at that.
So tech.
Catches it so clean.
Shane Oneill, a 7.7, jumps him up into the top 5. There's Peter Ramondetta.
Oh, going for a backside tailside big spin out.
That's a trick that P-Rock pulled off just a couple of weeks ago in Kansas City. Cannot stick it there. That's his first miss. Up next, though, Miki Taylor. Looking for his 2nd make of the section.
There you go. Only knows one side.
So he gets it there. And that should help him to start climbing the ladder. Yep, jumping him up in the 7th place. Again, you want to be in the top 8, but there's still a 3rd and final heat to follow with some heavy hitters. So you got to build up those scores.
You wanted the hard flip? There it is.
Luan said, hey, let me show you how it's done. I call that a Luan flip.
Is it because Nigel's not here? Is that why everyone's choosing to do that? Well, we can all have this trick now. He's not here.
Here's a nice view. An 8.4 for Luan Oliveira. And Tony, we have a new leader as he jumps up into 1st.
And rightly so. His flow round is insane.
Here's Youness Amrani, our Select Series winner, trying to get his first make.
Oh,
okay.
frontside tail slide 270 out.
That score coming in, Tony, an 8.5.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
That is a very difficult trick, even on a flat ledge.
So that puts him up into the top 8, officially eliminating Bastian Salabanzi and Billy Marks, by the way. Here's Shane Oneill.
Switch kickflip.
Shane looked like he had that trick, but ESPN's exclusive coverage of the X Games continues tomorrow with skateboard, BMX, and rally car. X Games Munich tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ABC, then continues at 7 on ESPN. So up next is Peter Ramondetta with attempt number 4.
It looked like he was going for a switch grind there, and didn't get his front truck down, so ended up at a 50 and threw it away.
Mikey sitting in 7th. Ooh, that'll push him up.
Switch blunt slide to fakie.
Again, you want to keep an eye on those total scores on the scroll atop. The average for getting into the final this year happens to be a 27.1 in the prelims. So that's a good measuring stick for these guys to get between their flow and impact. Here's Luan Oliveira.
Frontside kickflip. That would be the cherry on top right there, because all he can do is improve his score at this point. He's already in the lead.
A 7.5 for Luan. He's yet to miss in the impact section.
And he's already in the finals.
Up next, Youness Amrani.
Switch nose grind.
So that is Youness's 3rd miss, Tony. Here's Shane Oneill. He's sitting in 7th, would love some security.
There's the switch kickflip he wanted on the last attempt.
That will definitely do it.
That could put him in the top spot.
That may put him in the lead. He needed a 7.7. A 6.4. Take another look. You think they scored that one right?
Yeah.
Well, that jumps Shane up into 2nd place and puts him in a really good spot to qualify for the final with just one more heat to go. Here's Peter Ramondetta sitting in 7th.
Nice. Hurricane down the harbor.
So Peter needed a 3rd make. He got it. A 6.7 jumps him up into 2nd.
And we saw that same trick in his flow run as well, but it was worth an impact hit because no one else is doing it.
Mikey Taylor kicks away his 2nd, keeping him in 6th place. And that'll do it for his day. Luan Oliveira already in the lead. Really putting on the show in the impact section. A 7.5. See it one more time.
Switch frontside flip. So clean.
So Luan putting on a flip trick clinic here in the impact section. Here's Youness Amrani.
Missing that nose grind again.
So that's going to do it. His 4th miss as he sits in that 8th spot. And now rounding out Heat 2 in the impact section, Shane Oneill. He sits in 3rd. Does he go big to try and take the lead?
Probably backside flip. That probably would have done it.
So he misses that, but that's going to do it for heat number 2. And some really impressive skating in the impact section, led by Luan Oliveira, who was flawless with 5 consecutive makes. He has the overall lead. Peter Ramondetta right behind him there, as well as Shane Oneill and Tom Asta. When we come back, 11 majors in a 4-year span. And Nyjah Huston deserves to be in that conversation. But if you're just joining us again, Nyjah Huston not here in Munich, as you see from this Instagram photo, hurting a rib, keeping him out. But Tony, that keeps this event wide open. And as we look at heat number 3, the heaviest of the heavy, led by Chris Cole, Sean Malto, and of course Paul Rodriguez.
On any given day, I would almost expect any of these guys to make it through the finals. This could shift the top 8 completely right now.
So due to some unforeseen injuries across the league, this is actually the 3rd and final heat of the day here at prelims. We're actually missing 5 skaters out of the league. But it will be Chris Cole starting us off in the flow section. Again, each skater getting 2 45-second runs, and we count the top score. With the top 8 from today's prelim advancing to Sunday's final.
Nice frontside blunt slide there. Coming back with the backside blunt slide. You can tell that he had this run completely planned out, and it really messed up his mojo there.
Chris has been skating so well all week in Munich. And that will do it as he hits the corners. So Chris Cole's score will come in at a 6.6. Up next, though, Sean Malto. And if you caught Street League at Kansas City a couple weeks ago, you saw one of the most bizarre moments you'll ever see in a skateboard contest. Sean Malto, on his first run, his kingpin nut falls off, truck completely detached as he hits the hubba. Have you ever seen anything like that, Tony?
Well, I like that he saw the crooked grind all the way through.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
No truck. There's nothing to actually base your grind on.
Super impressive.
But he was going to go all the distance.
So that was a bummer for Malto in front of his hometown crowd of Kansas City, as he would get eliminated after the flow section. Wants to make up for it, though, here in Munich.
And he's been on point all practice here. Nice mid slide.
Malto, arguably the most consistent skater in Street League. He's been averaging a 6.9 in the flow section this year.
Oh, backside nose blunt slide.
Tony has it timed up so well as he.
This is going to be one of the top scoring runs. Oh, and just finish it off with the signature nollie front crook.
Giving the sold-out crowd what they came here for. Take another look, Sean Malto. An 8.1 coming in for Malto. Really impressive flow section. Up next, though, Ishod Wair, trying to make his first ever Street League final. Will it be here in Munich? Ishod's another guy, Tony, that's as talented as any guy out here. But can he do it consistently? Whoa. So 5 seconds. Ishod's got room for one more trick.
Oh, he's going to throw his way. 3 falls on that run. It's not going to be a score worth saving.
That's why you get 2. A 3.7 for him there. He'll try and best that on his second attempt. Up next, though, Torey Pudwill. Skating thus far, getting a lot of tricks in. Still got 20 seconds to play with.
Kickflip board side there.
Torey hits the quarter.
Oh, nice. Finishing off with the backside all 360.
And he'll call it an attempt. We take another look.
This backside 360 ollie.
Only thing that could have been better there is if he catches the beanie behind him. A 7.8 from Torey Pudwill, his girlfriend Shay. Liking what she sees. So his score coming in a 7.8 for Torey. Very nice opening flow section. And rounding out heat number 3, Paul Rodriguez, who, Tony, I don't know if there's anybody who's been slaying this course better this week during practice than P-Rod.
Look at everything's a switch here. Switch flip. I don't think he's done one trick on his normal stance yet on this run.
And no one skates better switch than him, Tony. But it's like the judges, they realize that, you know, and they've got to give it up for that. Here he comes hitting the impact.
A lot of tricks at the end there, but that one fall is going to hurt him.
So we shall see a 6.8. P-Rod averages a 7.4 in the flow section. As we look at his ender. If he can execute that flawlessly on his second attempt, you could be sure that score will jump up. Here's Chris Cole trying to best the 6.6.
Chris had one fall.
Yeah.
His first run on that trick right there.
Just not sticking.
Inside blunt slide.
That was the only blemish on his run previously.
So if he sticks with the same run, which he has so far,
should be a similar outcome.
Should be the same score. Nice. So 70 slide fakie. Oh wow.
So that does it for Cole's second attempt.
He's trying to step it up there at the end with the backside 270.
4.9 for Chris, so he'll hold on to that 6.6. Try and make up for it in the impact section. Here's Sean Malto already holding on to that 8.1. We'll see how much he mixes it up here on his second run.
Oh wow. Listen to the nose one slide and going to board side, still trying to hang on to it.
Again, the top 8 from today's prelim will be qualifying for Sunday's final. We're already a couple heats in the book. And Malto's got 10 seconds to play with there, but he realizes I got 8.1. Feeling pretty good. Chris Cole half hugging. A 2.0 for Malto there. Up next is Ishod Wair. We got a tweet from one of our winter athletes, Bobby Brown. Woke up early to watch X Games Street League live. Good start to the morning. Thanks for checking us out, Bobby.
Nice. He shot kickflip back to the lip slide. This is the run he wanted on his first attempt.
Already looking a lot better. Raw thrasher, the shot is. Still in search of making his first final.
Nice. Big flip. Front board. Wow. This might be one of his highest scoring runs. Nose one slide. Bobbling there at the bottom, but still super solid run to that point.
Yeah, shouldn't hurt him too much. Gotta imagine the judges like what they saw. They did. A 7.6 jumps up Ishod. As we take another look.
Look at this. Big flip. What's that board side? Faggy. Shifting his feet at all costs.
So here's Torey Pudwill trying to follow up that 7.8.
Coming out a little sketchy on the tail slide, so he was not set up for his usual nose grind.
Torey's board actually got lost in luggage on his way to Munich. I don't know if he got his board back in time. I know he was riding a board he bought from some local skate shop yesterday. So that's going to do it for T-Pud's second run. A 2.9, he will hold on to that 7.8. He's all smiles. He knows he's going to get ready for the impact section coming up momentarily. But now rounding out the flow section for heat number 3, Paul Rodriguez trying to best that 6.8. Averages a 7.4 in the section this year.
Slip slide.
Again, as Tony pointed out, everything switch.
There's again, switch kick. This is the same run. He had a little trouble here. Nollie 270, lip slide. That's what he's looking for.
Times it out perfectly as he hits the hubba.
And Nollie crooks.
So a great second run here in the flow section for Paul Rodriguez. Exactly what we expected to see for him there. As we take another look, Tony.
Look at that. Switch kickflip, so clean.
An 8.1 coming in for P-Rod.
And this Nollie lip slide. I mean, I know that's the one trick he did where he was on his regular stance. It's kind of a switch trick. It's more like a caballero.
Heat number 3, still about to attack the impact section. So this is fun. This is where you start to see some moving and shaking. There's our Select Series winner, Youness Amrani, currently in that bubble spot of 8th. And don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but that's not the place you want to be with Paul Rodriguez,
yeah, with this lineup.
And Sean Malto getting ready to hit the impact section. Again, the top 8 from today's prelim move on to Sunday's final. And some really impressive skating thus far, but Chris Cole kicking us off in the impact section.
Oh, wow. Nollie frontside nose slide.
As we take another look, a 7.6 for Chris Cole, and already you start to see the creep in. He jumps up to 9th. These guys right now want to get into that top 8 spot. Here is Sean Malto, currently sitting in 11th. With the signature right there, a 5.6, pacing himself well to get into the final.
Pretty much guaranteed that he's going to start off with a Nollie grind of some kind.
We usually see it the first attempt of every impact section. Here's Ishod Wair, who skated well in the flow section. Massive
switch frontside flip over the hubba.
Covered so much ground. Ishod Wair starting off his impact section right, an 8.6, and just like that, Tony, he jumps up into that 8th spot, bouncing out Amrani. So will Ishod Wair make his first final? Here's Torey Pudwill with his first attempt.
Ooh, Nollie backside Smith. switch fest here.
So a 6.8 for Torey Pudwill jumps him up. You take another look. Oh, so clean.
Yeah, that's exactly how you want to do that trick.
So here's Paul Rodriguez. He could actually make the final 8 group with a big trick right here.
Switch, crooked grind.
Needed an 8.2 to jump into the final. Gets a 6.1, playing it smart, getting those points on the board. Jumps him up into 11th place. So here's Chris Cole. A simple trick of a 2.1 or better gets him up into the top 8. So he doesn't get it done there. And that's Chris's first miss of the section. Here's Sean Malto.
Oh, there you go. Lower nose grind.
And that will get Malto into the top 8. And at least momentarily bounces out his buddy Ishod Wair. So keep an eye on that. Ping pong effect as we start to see guys bouncing into the top 8. Ishod Wair,
backside flip.
Continuing to impress today. That will certainly get him back into the finals group, a 7.5. And now Matt Miller is in the bubble position as he sits in 8th. Well, here's Torey Pudwill up next. He had a 6.8 to start us off. An 8.5 would get him into the top group.
Backside Smith, backside 180 out. Just toying with the backside Smith grind here.
So a 7.4 as we take another look, jumps him up into 9th place, setting himself up well.
One more make, Torey is most likely in the finals.
So here's Paul Rodriguez. How does he follow up a 6.1?
Switch backside Smith.
So P-Rod's strategy coming into play. An 8.2 puts him right there in the 9th place.
At some point, the judges might start taking him as a regular footer.
Here's Chris Cole.
Blunt slide.
Making good there. Needed a make after kicking it away on attempt number 2. Just a 4.7. But he's still got a couple more attempts to go. So there's Matt Miller. Oh, Chris Cole stealing his glory there.
In more ways than one.
Yeah, and Matty in the background, sitting in that 8th spot, which is not where you want to be. Will he live on to get to the final? Here's Sean Malto, just a 3.2 or better. Gets him in there. That'll do it. And that should do it easily. And Matt Miller with the white flag, high fives, as he is officially eliminated. Sean Malto moving up to 4th place and puts Ishod Wair.
I can tell you that he's got that trick wire because I requested that he did it during practice.
I saw you do that right before the contest started.
I didn't want to put anything that I thought would be too difficult on him.
I need a
and he seems like he goes with that trick.
Hey, Sean, photo op. Here's Ishod Wair.
Switch hard flip.
He doesn't stop it there. That's his first miss. He stays in 8th place, but he does effectively control his own destiny.
Yeah, I mean, he is playing the game well right there. He's got 3 attempts now. Oh, wow.
Torey going big. That's his first miss. And here's Paul Rodriguez, who had been climbing the ladder with his previous 2 attempts. Basically landing a trick will get him in to that finals group. Let's see what he's got.
Switch, frontside blunt slide. Wow.
Making it look oh so easy, Tony.
Welcome to the finals, Paul.
An 8.9, just missing out on a 9. Check out this view.
Wow. So clean.
Smooth operator. Paul Rodriguez is now in first place overall.
Like I said, they're going to start considering him a regular footer. And then his natural stance will be his switch stance. It's way too confusing. Nice kick from nose guard.
Chris Cole needing a land there. That should catapult him up into the final 8 group. A 7.7, yep, jumps him up into 6th place. And Mikey Taylor is officially eliminated. So Mikey will not make it 4 consecutive finals this year. And now Tommy Sandoval sitting on the bubble in 8th place. Here's Sean Malto.
Outside nose one slide.
Malto already in that final 8 group. Just bettering his position, an 8.1, jumping him up into 3rd place. So here's Ishod Wair, who was in that final 8 group, just basically needs to land a trick to get back there. A 0.4 or better gets him into the top 8. Does he play it smart? We shall see.
Oh no! Miss in the Paxton Smith grind there.
Wow. Looked like he had it. So that is Ishod's 2nd miss, putting pressure on him to land something on his 5th and final attempt. Here's Torey Pudwill, a 2.1 or better. Would have got him into the final. So he almost held on there, Tony. What goes wrong here?
Right here on the kickflip crooked grind, he looked like his... I'm not really sure, to be honest. Looked like he was trying to fix his foot. He was so focused on that he didn't actually balance his body for landing.
Weight went forward. So Ishod and Torey both putting pressure on themselves to make their final tricks. Here's P-Rod, already the top-ranked qualifier.
Switch kickflip over the hubba.
That's his first kick
he's
away.
Just playing now.
Yeah. Could have afforded a miss there. So again, Brandon Graham joined alongside Tony Hawk in the booth. We've got Jordan Whitley on the course. It is the 5th and final attempts here in the impact section of the prelims. We're going to find out who gets into Sunday's final. And it's Chris Cole kicking off the 5th attempts. He's already in the top 8. Can he better his position?
Oh, yes. 180 switch crooks right there. That's a solid Chris Cole special.
A solid 8.0 for Chris Cole, jumping him up in the 3rd place overall. You'll see him on Sunday. So here's Sean Malto.
For the hard flip, but he can still throw that away.
That's his first miss, but he lives on to go to the final as he stays in 4th place. But here's where it gets interesting, Tony. Ishod Wair just basically needs to land a trick to get into the top 8.
There it is. Backside Smith, the one he was looking for.
Sticks that back Smith. A 4.1. But it stays interesting as he does jump up into the top 8.
Barely.
Assuring him an appearance in his first final. Will Torey Pudwill join him? We think he will, as Tom Asta was on the bubble. And Torey Pudwill with a 6.5 has officially knocked out Tom Asta. And T-Puds
360 ollie, look at that.
Is in the final. Look at that. So all 5 guys, Tony, from this heat make it into Sunday's final.
I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so.
So kind of shocking though, Tony. Tom Asta there. We see the shot. Skated so well in that opening heat. Paul Rodriguez with one more.
Switch kickflip. That's the icing on the cake for his #1 spot.
So P-Rod nailing that. It don't matter. He stays in first place overall. But Tom Asta getting knocked out. But really impressive field, Tony. Peter Ramondetta making his first final of 2013. Ishod Wair making his first final ever in his Street League career.
Up to the last trick, too, for him. He's talking about putting pressure on himself. But he's played the game properly. He did just what he needed to do to get in.
A really impressive day of skating. Let's go down to Jordan Whitley, who's with our top-ranked qualifier.
All right, Paul, well, congratulations. Now, we joked earlier about the power of visualization, and you talked about, you know, you have a game plan, you want to stick to it. Did you stick to the plan to come in on top?
I mean, I didn't know it was going to get me on top, but I knew if I did my game plan, it would put me in a good position.
You seemed very confident coming in. Now you look ahead to the finals. What's it going to take to finally get on top this year?
Again, it's just going to take having my game plan and executing. That's all it ever takes is execute. There's no crazy, you know, potion to it. It's just stay on your board and do some high-scoring tricks.
Do you always say you got to stay on your board? Now, I'm going to test you. Can you point out any features on this course and use your German?
Yes. The Treppen.
And what is that?
Stairs, I think. The Treppengeländer, the handrail, I think.
All right, well, I'm learning a little bit here. Congratulations, and we'll see you in the finals. Thanks, Paul.
Ranking first overall, speaking German. Tony, I don't know what more you could ask for from P-Rod today.
Talk about playing at the hometown. Jeez.
Pandering, are we? At least he knows it, man. So
no, but he was, clearly, he got the strategy. He's got the skills. I think he's slowly becoming a regular footer.
Everything switched today, but Tony, what impressed you most with P-Rod's performance?
The consistency, you know, like, well, all these tricks are incredibly hard. Switch, crook to grind there, hit the switch frontside blunt slide, his flow run. I mean,